back with my keyboard. Oh, it's like it was made for me. And it doesn't have little stickers that have completely different letters on them than the actual letters that you type. I'm mainly a touch typer, but I'm not a touch typer on someone else's keyboard. So I have to look down, and if I see U on the I and I click it, and I'm thinking U will come out, but I comes out, and then I think, okay, well, the thing with the P is actually the U, and it's just, it's a disaster. YouTube. Goodness gracious, welcome back. We are about to do something very fun, which is we're about to expose more of the world to the poetic genius of the anonymous Me poet that we explored not too long ago. So if you're not familiar, there is a beautiful poem that represents the true highest aspirations of all humanity, and we're going to translate that into Lenethailef, and at the same time essentially create a poetic form that works well for Lenethailef. So we get to explore some translations, some poetry, make up some new vocabulary. So should be a good time. All right. So so maybe Quayne, would you mind if I brought up that recording? So I don't know if you say so. I'll try and get it technically to work because I think that would be the best way to introduce it. So this poem, I'll give you a short introduction to it. I'll just scoot myself over to the side here, and we can look at this poem. This poem is really beautiful. I'll give you the English translation. And it means, as soon as you cross the river, you will no more receive the blessings of Myǐnh. The name of a goddess, by the way. Also the name of the language. You will suffer chickens devouring you, indeed. But it does not compare to the feeling of my broken heart. So it's a breakup poem. And we do potentially have a recording of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 30 seconds trying to get this to work. And if it does not work, we'll just leave it. I will attempt to do my pronunciation of it, but I think Quayne's rendition it cannot be bested. Okay, so here is the poem, and here is hopefully the recording.
感冒照未过劲，大鸟把俩感面，这帮我都觉得大过啊文照白。
Tell me that came through okay. Yes. Okay, we're getting an awesome from the chat. Yeah, Quayne. If I were wearing a hat, it would be off right now. That's a spectacular rendition. You really captured the emotion, the feeling of being devoured by a chicken. So, and you really get to see something interesting about the poetic form. We have all sorts of cool things going on in it. We have rhyme. First of all, it's probably the most obvious thing right off the bat. But we have a really cool poetic device. So the way that it works, here are the rules of what we're calling poetic form A. Me and my letters again. So a line is 6 syllables long. A line is broken into 2 half lines, separated by a caesura after the 3rd syllable. So it's a break in the line, which we notate with these 2 vertical lines here. The caesura, that break of each line, must be spanned by a word. So you cannot have a word end before the caesura. However, tone sandhi does not apply across the caesura. So normally in a polysyllabic word in Me, you have rather extensive tone sandhi. But in this poetic form, when you cross the caesura, that tone sandhi is undone, or it doesn't occur. And the 4th rule is that the poem is arranged in rhyming couplets. So, yeah, again, my hat is off. So then, this is the poem that we have to translate into Lenethailef. But we have an issue that Lenethailef is a very different sounding language. And there are very few words with only 1 syllable. And so we're going to have a different poetic form in Lenethailef. Lenethailef is a language with a lot of schwas as well. So a lot of unstressed syllables. So this rhythm of stressed, unstressed might make more of an appearance in Lenethailef. Lenethailef is also not tonal. So lots of differences that in order to make it into a sort of native Lenethailef style poem, we're going to have to change it, and we're going to have to figure out what that kind of poem would be. So that's our task. So on the left, we have our Lenethailef sheet, and on the right, we have our Myǐnh sheet. So if you are rusty on your Lenethailef, I'll give you a sense of what it sounds like. So we have a sentence, Mas maslach kas maslakoich, excuse me, or Mas furcheth maslachush, Mas heilen maslachofli, Mas maslachush, Mas maslachet, Mas maslachofli. So these are a few sort of toy sentences that we made a long time ago now. My Lenethailef is certainly rusty. And we are going to try and translate this poem into Lenethailef. That's a challenge. Let's do it. All right. So Lenethailef is, if we recall correctly, it is an SVO language that descends from formerly SOV proto-language. So protocol is very strongly SOV. Lenethailef is an SVO language. So you have this construction here. The sun shines a great shining, which is sort of they ripped off from the Semitic construction, but that's fine. And I forgot who to give credit to for that idea, but it's someone in the community. So thank you for that, and I apologize for forgetting who suggested it. The text. Let's get the text bigger. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. We're at 14 here. Let's go up to maybe 18. But then the danger is, of course, that we're going to go. We have to sort of figure out how to get as much in the screen, but also I'm aware some of you are probably watching on phones, and it can't be easy to see small text there. So hopefully, I think this is probably a happy medium. I like this idea, Elijah, of alliteration. So maybe this could be something that we do. So let's take a look, and let's start to get some of these words in. So roughly, we have our SVO languages, our SVO language, which is Lenethailef, and so we're going to want something like as soon as you, my eternal problem, do not want it to make a link. As soon as you cross the river, accusative. As soon as. What do we have? We have some sort of special stuff going on with verbs in Lenethailef. I think we need to take a look at that. We have all sorts of these stems, or all sorts of these endings. Predicative, continuative, past, negative, presumptive. I think we need something like as soon as. I need to look at protocol to see how these verbal forms emerged. All right, maybe we could put this into this presumptive form, which is kind of like a future, which has a lot of different meanings. Future, it's kind of a hortative thing as well. Could it be one of the conditionals? So our conditional, we have our indicative conditional, which is like when, whenever, if A then B. We could also have we could also consider the counterfactual conditional. If this happened, but it didn't. maybe we could put it in conditional 1. This ending that has tohwe in protocol. So let's go back to Lenethailef. Okay, so let's scoot over here. And what is our conditional A or conditional 1? Okay, athis, athis, othis. So maybe instead of as soon as, we have something like this, where it's a bit ambiguous between as soon as or if or when. Yeah, I think indicative conditional is the one to go with. So conditional 1. This is our conditional 1 ending. And if we look back at the Lenethailef, this is tohwe is the ending. Do we have a word for cross in any of these? Go across, we do. Onakwela. All right, so then we just need to go into Lexergy. Onakwela. And we need to go find our grammar bit. Tohwe. And let's see what happens. Okay. Anagladas. Anagladas. All right. So that will end up being romanized as Enechladathes. Anagladas. And let's see if we have river. Let's try and get something fairly unpoetic first, and then we can play with it. Okay, so and let's bring all of this up to that 18-point font so everyone can see it well. River. We don't have a river. Okay, so we need a root for river. We have some roots here. Maybe we can use something like tamene as river, just so that we don't have to create anything new. So tamene, and I think we need an accusative ending, if I'm not mistaken. And what is our accusative ending? Ukwe. Tamenech. Okay, so that's what we get. Anagladas tamenech. And the romanization for Lenethailef is a little interesting. When we have the vowel A, it's spelled with this diacritic here. Anagladas tamenech. And then we need U. Where does it live? I don't remember. Lexicon. So we can have something like 2SG, or did I say U, or where would I have put this? Always my glossing conventions. Do we even have a second person? No, it doesn't look like we do. So why don't we take something small and call it a second person pronoun? Maybe mita, because we have it here. So second person, so that I can find it no matter what I search. Oh, Moontoother, is so nice. So nice to be back with my keyboard. Oh, I love this keyboard. I just want to, there we go. It's like it was made for me. All right. So, and it doesn't have little stickers that have completely different letters on them than the actual letters that you type. I mean, I'm mainly a touch typer, but I'm not a touch typer on someone else's keyboard. And so I have to look down, and if I see U on the I and I click it, and I'm thinking U will come out, but I comes out, and then I have to think, okay, well, the thing with the P is actually the U, and it's just, it's a disaster. Okay, Lenethailef is, okay, let's clarify some of these things about the pronouns. Lenethailef does not inflect for person. That's right. We could have some fun with the pronouns. Maybe not have an open class for pronouns, have elaborate rules as to when you can use what kind of pronoun and politeness and formality levels. We could do something like that. We could only refer by name in this language. But then, if that's true, what does a translator do? When a translator comes to a poem that has this ka pronoun, which is a pronoun meaning you. It's sort of I believe in me, it's a formal, or it's a poetic, it's a pronoun used in poetry specifically. It comes from the word for rider, which actually is the word sakrat in the proto language. Incidentally, that's a little Easter egg. So what is a translator to do? Let's see what it looks like with this mita. And it may be interesting. It may sound good. It may not. Let's find out. What does mita give us? Myth. That does sound kind of good. Myth yn agladdus temanech. Myth yn agladdus temanech. Okay, we're getting some good ideas in the chat about pronouns. So, well, Quain, it could be prodrop. I don't think we've made any decisions about that yet. So this could be, other than being used for you, maybe it's just used for a person. It's the word for a person, or it's the word for Lord or something like that. In fact, that does sound kind of cool. So it's the word for Lord, and it's used in translating Sakrat poetry. So say maybe we don't have a pronoun for a second person pronoun, but when it's required, as in translating this poetry, we use a kind of a calque. So myth might be considered, maybe this is the word for rider, and the person who translated it is aware that in me, ka means rider as well. Maybe that happened. Rider, Lord, you, second person. I like that. Okay. So, myth and agladas temanech. Already, I'm sensing a bit of rhythm. Dun da 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 da. Dun da 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 da. Okay. All right. Well, we'll ponder what that might mean. Let's translate the next line, which is where? Here. Not anymore receive the blessings of me. Okay. All right. I don't think we have the words for these. So bless, I don't think we have. Do we have receive? No. Anymore? No. And of course, me will be a loan word. So we need some words. Well, at least we have negation, and we have maybe we can use now, a word for now, to mean with a negation to mean not anymore. So let's put that in. I think we're going to need to make some new words. But maybe suhuta could be our receive. And I don't think we don't have wakwama, do we? No. So maybe, well, let's come up with some new forms. Chat. It is now time to call upon your help. We need some new forms, and I'm going to bring up the phonology of the proto-language. It's around here somewhere, I swear. Here we go. Okay, let's bring this up to a nice font size. No, this is the Eustamia. Darn it. Okay. Okay, I don't think I have anywhere where I've just laid out the phonology of the proto-language. Unfortunate. Well, what I'll do, I'll show you some forms. I'll tell you that this is a CV language. And if you have anything that strikes you as an interesting form, shout it out to the chat. While I do this, I'm actually going to build the inventory of protocol. So forget what I just said. I'm going to do this. Proto grammar. Where is our phonology? No, I have to do phonology. Okay. Yeah, you can tell it's been like 3 months since I've been in this spreadsheet. Okay, this is the phonology of protocol. Let's boost this up to 18 points. And we have a CV syllable structure. We have a strict requirement that morphemes cannot be 4 syllables long or longer, so 3 syllables or fewer. And yeah, be my guest. Okay, thank you, Hannah. That's great. I'm going to find a spot to put these. Let's put them in here. Okay, so we have Hannah, we have Fayuli, we have Huahua. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So I'm going to put these in Lexergy. Beautiful. Suso, Kwosapa, Nipe, and Luana for bless. Luana. I like that. Looks like the chat just caught up on screen. That's kind of special. Asafa, Kuhuli, Kwela. Okay, perfect. I'm going to run these through, and then we will probably have everything we need for the rest of the poem. Hopefully. Let's see. Okay. So let's put these. We don't need the inputs. Let's go back and let's look at our lexicon. That's the wrong lexicon. We'll just ignore these little stress symbols. Actually, we'll just delete them. I just meant this sheet. There we go. That didn't work. That just didn't work at all. That's great. Okay, but it's fine. We're going to be fine. So this is going to go into, what am I doing? Hide. So this belongs here, and this belongs here. Okay. So we had Luana being bless. So it kind of becomes Lun. That's kind of awesome. Kwahua became Kus. Yeah. Yeah, there's some special stuff going on in these sound changes. All right. Okay, so this is going to be now, receive, negative. What order do we have for noun, genitive noun for in Lenethailef? I don't think we've discussed this. Well, let's say for now that it is genitive noun, possessor, possessum. So, Myǐnh, blessing. Okay, so this is what we want in gloss form. Now we need to make some associations. So maybe now could be Khan. So, Khan, receive. What did we say for receive? Suhuta. Sut. Perfect. Okay, so we need the negative marker. Okay, where's the negative marker? It's in here somewhere, I swear. It is... I'm failing. Nu. Right. Right, okay. So then we need Suhuta Nu. Which becomes Suth for some reason. That's interesting. I'm assuming what happened is having that nu on there preserved the vowel long enough to allow T to spirantize into th. And then this vowel dropped off, giving something like suthen, and then the consonant also dropped off, giving suth. I think we will probably regularize that. What did we have here? Negative. Yeah, it's an stem, and these stems are a bit irregular. Well, we can leave it for now. We may come back to that. All right, so let's put that in. Khan Suth. And then how are we going to adapt this word me? I think it would be something like mean. I don't think we have anything like ye going on in this language. Let's see what happens if I put this in. Yeah, no. breaks the rules. Okay, so let's say Myǐnh will be the adaptation of me. Yeah, this is Lexergy. Oh, yeah. Quain's already got it. So this is what I'm thinking. If we come in with me, and we have that nasalization that's coming to a language that does not have contrastive nasalization, Quain is suggesting that the nasalization may be lost. I'm trying to think of any examples of languages where nasal vowels have been loan words. I mean, the only one that comes to mind is English, and from French, I guess, would be the second part of that sentence. And yeah, I'm actually thinking of the adaptation of some of those loan words, and I think we do lose the nasalization a lot of the time. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Although me seems very, very, it's just a CV. It's so small. What are we going to do? How are we going to make that into a genitive case? Well, it's not going to have any stem changes. So then we can just put in, nominative and genitive are syncretized. So me, and then blessing. So we have a form that, the substantive form, echwa, or chukwa, rather. It has an allomorphy, but it's not going to be relevant for this form. And we can put this in. So we wanted Luana, chukwa. Oh, it doesn't like it. Every time. These sound changes are some of the most complicated that I've ever done. And you can see it goes down to line 251. I know by some people's standards that's not nothing, but that's not very much. But for me, it was decent because I was learning Lexergy as I was doing it. Okay, so let's focus. So we have this word blessing, which is lun. Maybe we can have a later nominalization strategy that does not change the stem. Yeah, let's do that. We'll have a nominalization strategy that does not change the stem, and maybe we can borrow it from Eustamia. It's like the equivalent of English Asian. So let's do that. Let's look at Eustamia and see what it does. Eustamia grammar, it has this substantive form uk. So maybe what we could do is just put uk. So lunuk. And so this would be blessing. And then we would have to make this into accusative. And this would take whatever the most regular form is. Let's see. Let's find one that doesn't. We need an inflectional class for a non-ablating inflectional class. Well, we don't need it, but it would be kind of nice to have. So I'm kind of going off all over the map here as I'm getting myself reaccustomed to Lenethailef. Yeah, we could. Yeah, maybe that's Elijah. That maybe that's a better idea. Is just to put it in one of the existing declensions. And in that case, if we do it, Timon is river, by the way. We've decided on that now. And then what declension would it be? We could put it into the A stem. Let's make these a bit bigger so we could see. Yeah, we could put it into the A stem. Lunuk Köich. Chan suth mi lunuk Köich. Yeah, so then the couplet would be Mith yn y gladdas tabaneich chan suth mi lunuk Köich. All right, this needs some work. But we need to put in a break for YouTube because, again, stretch, hydrate, so important. I wouldn't want to do anything to endanger the good people of YouTube. So thank you so much for joining us as we struggle through and try to translate some poetry from one conlang into another. Please do come back and join us for next time because we're going to be doing more weird stuff like this. All right, so until then.